Good evening and welcome. It's March 30th. It's Sunday. It's Sunday night here on the west coast of California. It's a warm welcome. A warm welcome here to fight CPS and to stop taking our children. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host on this live stream. We're broadcasting all around the world on YouTube using the StreamYard application. And we're talking about what I call the child protection system. Every child protection system in every county and every state around the world may have different names, like Child Protection Service, Department of Children and Family Services, Department of Children's Services, the Cabinet, etc. So when I say CPS, I mean all of those. So that is really great. And I want to welcome Saul Goodman. I know it's another day, but Saul Goodman, it's nice to hear from you. What part of the world are you from, Saul Goodman? Saul Goodman is one of the regulars in here. I have about 20 to 30 regulars that come here twice a day. Now, I've talked to over 1,000 people, either text or by phone, from around the world. Not only all 50 United States, all the states, but also District of Columbia, and then 21 countries. 21 countries. And they all have something in common as well as myself. They had a difficult CPS case and they're low on income. It seems like the rogue CPS, not all CPS is bad, but the rogue ones, the bad ones, are preying on people that don't have much funds because of certain reasons. They just lost their job recently. They became homeless because of events they couldn't control, like the people on the East Coast, people in the fires in LA area. These are national disasters. And now CPS is trying to chase after these people, saying they don't have a phone for their family. So anyway, I'm here to help you. I'm not a lawyer, but I've been fighting CPS for 15 years. I've developed 5 rules that will help you. And I can talk about all kinds of subject matters that help you. And Saul Goodman's from Kansas. All right, welcome, Saul. I'll try to remember next time that you're from Kansas. So you'll find me on 14 times a week. I've been doing that now for 17 months. That's over a year and 4 months or something like that. And I've never missed a live stream. And I'm here to help you. To help you answer your questions and your concerns. And as I say, I have lots of things that can help you with. This room is interactive. We right now, if you want to text me a question, please text me a question or a comment. Make sure it's about CPS. Where did it go? I just lost my text there. Anyway, if you're going to text me a question, please show me your first name, your city and county, and the and if you're and your state, and if you're from outside the country, show your country. Also, try to tell me about your case. Try to tell me about your case. How did I lose that? My computer. I took it today to the repair shop. I thought it had some good news, but they're telling me you need to buy one. You know, it's really hard. Computers like the one I have, I paid $1,300 for it. Now it costs to replace that computer $2,000. That's a lot of buckaroos when you're working on Bangladesh wages and you get paid every so often. So anyway, I just lost because I know that this cursor just deleted one of my messages I have here. I see some of the other ones, but I don't see the one that says please. Okay, let me see if I can put it back here. I'll just create a banner here. Okay. Okay, please. Oh, good grief. It's skipping. Bear with me so I can replace. Please text in a comment or a question about CPS and show your first name. Show your first name and your city or county and state. And country. COCO. UNTRY. Also, well, that part's all working, huh? Okay, now, wow, I just, okay, so now I can go ahead and save that, add the banner. Okay, that looks good. Now I need to see where it went to. Okay, now I got the comment up there. So please text in a comment or a question about CPS and show your first name and your city or county and state and country. Some of you are from outside the country, so I welcome you from around the world. Also, I need to correct that. Geez. Okay, how do we correct it? There we go. Okay, so okay. So hopefully that reads right. Also tell me about your case, start from the beginning and where you are today. Okay. That is good enough. So that's what's on there. And Margaret, a warm welcome. Margaret's from up north near Fresno, California. Crystal Lacrosse, hi there. And you're from Merced County in California, Crystal. Welcome. And Barkley, I remember you. You're from Montana. Thank you for coming in there. I hope Little Nugget comes on because she was really having a hard time this morning. So I'm looking forward to seeing Little Nugget on and anybody else that wants to talk. Now, I'm trying to do my live stream a little bit differently. I am telling you how they interact in the rooms and that I have 5 rules I come up with, but I'm not going to go into them in detail. If no one wants to call in or no one wants to text or are a guest on my show, then I'm going to talk about topics. I'm going to talk about the latest news of CPS and try to find some topics that'll be of interest to you all. I'm spending too much time talking about myself and about how to fight CPS, and I don't know if that's what you guys all want. I'm trying to get my feelers out. I want to do what you want. So if you tell me tonight, Bob, can we talk about a 388 motion? Bob, can we talk about the ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act? Or Bob, can we talk about the 160 hearing? Or Bob, can you talk about how to get rid of a judge? Or Bob, how to fight CPS? You know, these are things I'm looking for topics because I want to be able to help you all with something new there. you're a friend of Margaret's, and I have a case that's been open for 7.5 years. Crystal, that is a long time. That's a long, long, long time. So anyway, I've already told you what the CPS, what I call the Child Protection System. So whatever the name it is, you know what I'm saying when I say CPS. Now, a lot of us didn't choose to be involved with CPS, and some of that did get involved are still involved in it, and they've not been fair because I'm sad to say there are bad or rogue CPS systems out there. I know LA County, Riverside County, San Bernardino County, Kern County, all the counties in California have really bad cases. Not every case is bad, but CPS, from my experience and experience over 1,000 people, that they are bad. They take your child for no reason. They don't believe in family reunification, and they make you go through hoops and still make you go through hoops and more hoops and more hoops. I mean, this morning it was terrible. People were so crying this morning because of all the hoops they're putting through. One person was talking about they did their parenting classes 4 times over. They did domestic violence. They do all this stuff, and then they get tricked by signing plans and stuff. Don't sign anything until your attorney looks at it. You're not really knowledgeable. You can't fight CPS. I compare fighting CPS like open heart surgery. You're going to need a professional doctor. You need a professional attorney. Court-appointed attorneys won't help you. Public defenders won't help you. They're not trained in the areas of juvenile, family law, or dependency law. They don't know how to fight. Plus, they got a caseload of 30 more clients, and they work for CPS. How it all boils down to is that there is supposed to be the defendants and the plaintiffs. The defendants are you guys. The plaintiffs are the social workers. But the social workers are not supposed to talk. Their attorneys are supposed to talk. That way your attorney talks. The attorneys do all the talking in the courtroom and present evidence. And the judge acts like a referee. He's supposed to be knowledgeable. My judge was not knowledgeable. So you're going to run into a lot of bad scenarios. So I feel for you. I know what you're going through. Now, as I said, I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving family man. I've raised 6 children. 3 are older with grown-up families, and my 3 young ones. And I have over 42 years of marriage experience. And I have a lot that I can help you out with. And so anyway, I told about how the text messages. Now I'm going to tell you how to be a guest on the podcast. I mean, on the live stream. I keep calling it's a live stream. To be a guest, where did it go? Oh, no. Looks like I've somehow deleted that. Okay, I'll put it up there. Okay. All right. I think I got it right now. There, I had to add a new banner there. Now, Crystal, you say you open your case voluntarily. And I agree with you, Sol Goodman, that 7.5 years is a long time for a CPS case. Yes, you can call in. Here, let me get my phone number up so you can call in, okay? Crystal, you can call in. My phone number is, hopefully I don't delete it. There's my phone number, so you can call me in. You can talk to me during my show times. I'm on Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then the weekends on at 8 a.m. And then on the evenings, I'm on Monday through Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Times. These times may vary from week to week. I'll let you know. But those are the times that you can be on my show as a guest, or you can call in during those times too. Now, let me see. Some of you are asking some questions. And Crystal, you're welcome to call in. My phone number's up. My phone number's up, and I'd love to have you talk. And he says it's the worst decision you ever made. Well, Crystal Lacrosse, please call in. I know that you're a friend of Margaret's, but I think you're from Merced County. That's where Margaret's from too. Both of you are from Merced County in California. So, Crystal, please call in. There's my number. Let me make sure my number will accept. I may have had it off for a second. I was at church today, and I didn't want to disturb the church, so I don't know if it's. Let me see if. No, it is on. It's on. Okay. It's full blast, so it's on. So my phone is live. I'm using Vonage, which is a phone application on the internet. And I'm really happy to see you all here. I want to help you. Thank you for the emojis here, Clark Gabriella and Dee Robinson. You're awful kind. Up, here we go. We got a call. Hey, good evening. This is Bob Pace, and welcome. I'm live, and this is Vincent W. Davis, and How to Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
This is Crystal LaCroix.
Yes, Crystal, thank you so much. Is this the first time you've called in?
Yes.
Okay, I understand you're a friend of Margaret. Margaret's told you about me, and you have a case that you open up voluntarily. What do you mean you open up voluntarily?
Well, about 8 years ago, 8.5 years ago, my fiance had passed away, and I had relapsed. I had 8 years clean, and I had relapsed.
Oh my goodness, that is the worst thing I've heard. Your fiance passed away.
Clean again.
Yeah, wow.
And I got a bed down in a program down in Fresno, but I wasn't on probation or parole, and I didn't have a case open or anything. And since I wasn't from that county, they told me that I could open up a voluntary CPS case and they would hold the bed for me.
Now, can we stop there for a moment? Why would you want to deal with CPS?
Because when my daughter was about 2 years old, when my older daughter was about 2 years old and my younger daughter was like 6 months old, I opened up a voluntary case because I had nowhere to go with my kids.
Okay, stop for a moment. Was your fiance the father of those two kids?
No.
Okay, was he one of the father of either one of those kids?
No, my daughters, they don't know dad's really.
Okay, so the
I have
fathers
actually
are
two more
not
kids,
the
but
fathers are not involved in your two kids. Now,
no, not at all.
when you open up the first case, was your fiance alive?
No.
Okay,
Well, yeah, but I hadn't met him yet.
okay, I'm
It
confused.
had been. It was like 5 or 6 years prior.
Okay,
But
so
that
so
time when I
so
opened
you
up my
had
case the first time,
well
it was actually
let
very
me try
beneficial.
let me try to understand. So you had two children by a man you don't know, and you were raising those two children as a single mom, and then you met your fiance. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Now these
Yes.
two children, did your fiance play a role in their lives?
Yes, very much so.
Okay. So you were trying to build a
Yeah.
life together. You want to get married because he's your fiance and you have two beautiful children. Now, why?
And 2 weeks before we were supposed to get married, he passed away.
Yeah. And why would you want to open okay, had you met your fiance before your first time you had your first child with CPS?
No.
Okay.
No, that was when I was a single mom by myself, and it was basically just because I was homeless with my kids, and I needed help.
And
they helped me get on my feet.
Right. And CPS
it worked out very well for me.
Well, the child protection system, not all of them are bad. And they are. There are good ones out there. They're supposed to help out families in need. I mean,
yeah.
They're a part of social services. They're supposed to provide you food, shelter, clothing, transportation, medical, educational, even help you find a job. That's the purpose of the social services and the social workers. And they're supposed to help you with that. So you went to them for help.
Social worker I had, Kevin Lewis, he did that. And that's why I opened up the second voluntary case.
Well, the first one,
it worked basically because I just needed a referral into the program that I was going to.
I was going to have you slow down. The first case, did it work out well or not work out well?
Very well. Very well.
And so what was social services giving you at that time?
They helped me find an apartment. They helped me get into the apartment. They helped me get furniture. They helped me get anything that I needed for the kids.
And that was the Kern County CPS?
Merced County.
Merced County CPS, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now, when your second child was born,
years ago.
Yeah, but when your second child was born, you asked to be with CPS again.
Well, okay, so when I asked to be with, it was like 10 years later when I asked to be with CPS again.
So your first child was 10 years old?
Like 6 years later.
Was your first child 10 years old then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my other one was 8.
And your other child was just born?
No, she was 8.
Okay, I'm lost. You say you had 2 children. Do you have them close together?
Yeah, they're 2 years apart.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense now. So your first child was born 2 years old, and your second child was born. And with your second child, you wanted to get some help from CPS, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And so both of these were in Kern County, right?
No, Merced County.
I mean, Merced County. So what happened?
Yeah.
Why did the CPS turn sour? Was it after your fiance died or before your fiance died?
So when I opened up my first case, like it went well. They helped me out a lot. And then fast forward about 7 years, 8 years, and that's when I was with my fiance, and he passed away, and his whole family turned on me, and I walked away from my house and everything in it.
Oh, wow. You brought a new equation. The family members of your fiance. Now, why would they turn against you?
They never really liked me from the beginning. They really didn't like me from the beginning. He had 5 kids with one woman, and they felt like I was taking their dad away.
Now, was this 5 kids with the woman? Were those kids ever a part of your family?
Not really.
Okay. Really was he married to that other woman, or was he just having kids with the other woman?
He was married to her for a few years, yeah.
Okay. Was he divorced when he was your fiance?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a new future with this guy.
They've been separated for years.
Okay.
She was already married to somebody else.
All right. So why was it his mother and father, or sisters and brothers, or aunts and uncles, or what was it?
It was his kids and his kid's mom and his mom.
I imagine the kid's mom
and
was very jealous about the whole situation.
yeah, she was, and because we at the time we were trying to have a baby, and the kids didn't like that. They felt like he was trying to replace them, and yeah, they just and I'm white, and they were Mexican gangsters, and I don't really fit in with them.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, so
sometimes
they just didn't really like me.
racial backgrounds do make a difference. I understand that.
Yeah.
Now, I have some other people that just came in the room. Freeman, long time no see. I agree. I just check in to let you know that CPS didn't get did not get jurisdiction over our child. That's good news, Freeman. That is really good news. I'm glad to hear that. Now I have Cruel that is coming in the room. She is Felicia from Ventura County. Freeman, I forgot where you're from. If you could tell me where you're from, that would be great. Good evening. Yep, she's Cruel's part of my family. I'm glad to see you. Now, Freeman said, I got a public defender from a different county because all of the lawyers in this county don't want to try and make the situation known. I assume that's why I'm a difficult client. I want to expose them. Well, I'm glad you did, Freeman. I'm glad that your public defender worked out for you. I'm still waiting for a public pretender to get the criminal case dismissed. They don't want to deal with me asking for them to do their job. Oh, you're from Oregon, Freeman. Okay, good to hear you. And Freeman, corruption runs deep here. I know. I've had many people from Oregon and Washington up there and bad cases there. So Crystal, now
Yes.
the family members are getting involved. What is the family members? Are they telling CPS lies or stories?
No, they weren't involved at all. After I left my house, I really didn't see them again. I contacted CPS because I got abandoned into a program. Me and my kids were homeless after I left my house, and I had relapsed, and I was trying to get clean and couldn't get clean by myself. So I found a bed down at West Care, but it was in a different county. It was in Fresno County. And since I wasn't from that county, in order to get funding for that bed, I had to have some kind of referral.
Well, you had to live there,
So
right?
Yeah, I had to live there with my kids. Yeah,
right.
And that's what I wanted. You know, because I needed a start.
All right.
And so I contacted CPS to get a referral into the program. Well, when they came out, instead of giving me a referral, they took my kids and my best friend's kids.
Now, wait a minute. Had you already moved to their jurisdiction?
No, I was in their jurisdiction. I was asking them for a referral into a different county, into a program in a different county.
Well, then why would they, if they're in a different county, why would they be interested in the county you're in?
No, they were from the county that I was in.
So what do you mean referral?
That I was in,
right.
To go to this program that was out of county.
Okay. So that county you're in will give you a referral to go to another county with a better program.
Yes.
Okay. And
that program was holding a bed for me.
I know, but what happened when they referred you to that county?
They never did.
Why did they stop doing that?
They never said, so the program was the one that told me that I could contact CPS and open up a voluntary CPS case to get a referral to get into that program. Because I didn't have funding and I couldn't afford to pay for it myself.
Right. Well, then how were you living in the county you moved to? How were you living there?
No, so I was living in Merced County.
Okay.
The program was in Fresno County.
Okay.
And so I wanted to go to the program that was in Fresno County.
And
but I didn't have the money to pay for it.
Merced County would not.
If I opened up a voluntary CPS case in Merced County, they would give me a referral to go into that program.
Why'd they renege?
They never reneged. They had the best holding it for me.
So why couldn't you? If they did, why couldn't you go there?
Because CPS wouldn't allow it. They took my kids.
Well, you just told me that they referred you to that county, CPS.
No, they never gave me the referral. the program told me that they could give me a referral.
Oh, you mean
that program?
Okay, so that program. Why did you lose touch with the program?
Because they wouldn't give me a referral. I couldn't go into that program without a referral. I had to come up with like $3,600 just to walk through the door.
Well, why did they change their mind about referring you then?
They didn't refer me. The program couldn't refer me. CPS had to refer me.
Okay.
And CPS wouldn't refer me.
So why
didn't give me the referral that I wanted?
So why did CPS stop then?
They never stopped. They never came out to me.
So
I called them
who
to get a
told
referral into the program.
Okay, so you told them that you could go into the program, but you need them to refer you.
Yes.
Now, why did they deny to refer you?
I don't know.
Did you ask them why you're not allowing me to do this?
Yeah, and we kept asking them, is there any kind of alternative? Because they didn't take just my kids, they took my best friend's kids also.
Well, why were they taking your friends' kids? Was there neglect or was there abuse with either your friends' kids or your kids?
There was neglect on my friends' kids' part because they hadn't even been in school. They were almost 7 years old and they still hadn't been in school.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't even know that at this time.
So
when they took the kids, they took the kids on the basis. Their basis for removing the kids was that I admitted to using, and that my best friend left her kids with somebody that admitted to using.
Oh, so you mentioned you had a drug habit.
Yeah, that I needed to go into a program because I couldn't get clean on my own.
All right. Okay. Now, have you gone into that program? Have you gone into that program and got clean?
That's what I was trying to do.
And what stopped you from getting clean?
I couldn't get clean on my own.
Why wouldn't they assist you with that? They wouldn't.
I don't know why they wouldn't.
Oh, well, okay. I'm kind of lost here because I wasn't personally involved.
They refused to give me a instead of giving me a referral, because I called them to get a referral into the program.
Okay.
They didn't give me a referral. Instead, they took my kids and my best friend's kids.
But you said there was no charge with your kids. Only your friends had quit. What were the charges against you?
Using drugs.
Okay. So,
I admitted to using drugs.
All right. So, you were charged with drugs, and your other friend was charged with neglect, not having the children in school.
No, she was charged with leaving her kids with me, knowing that I did drugs.
Oh, so that's why she charged with neglect. And and then they took your kids because you're using drugs. Now, where did they take these?
Yeah.
How many kids are we talking about?
4.
Total of 4 kids.
My 2 and her 2.
Yeah. Now, where were these 4 kids taken to?
To foster care.
Now, you could not show them a family member they could stay with? You not have a family?
I don't have a family member. I don't have anybody.
You have no brothers, sisters,
no,
parents, aunts, uncles, or grandparents anywhere in the country?
None. No. None. I have nobody, just me and my kids.
Oh, that's sad. All right. So now your kids are in foster care. Now, were these in the same?
But she's crazy. She's not taking my kids.
I know. Were these 2 kids with your friend and your 2 kids together in foster care, or did they all have separate foster care?
They put my 2 girls in a foster care, and they put her 2 kids in a foster care.
Okay. And how good were the foster care moms? How good were they?
Terrible.
Okay.
My kids at that time, like the first time that they were in foster care, because they returned home at one point for almost 2 years, and they took them again.
Now,
there's a whole lot to this case.
Right.
Okay, so listen. So they took our kids on the basis that I admitted to using. That was their basis for taking the kids. Now the next day they sent me and my best friend down to have a hair follicle test done, and we both took a hair follicle test. Now I don't know how on God's green earth both of our tests came up clean.
Shouldn't they come
So
up
then they
clean?
refused to give me
Shouldn't they come
Huh?
up clean?
They both came up clean.
I know, but shouldn't they come out dirty? I mean, you're wondering why?
They should have been.
Well,
Yes, they should have been dirty.
that is a good news, right?
Well, you would think so.
So what
But
is?
no, it wasn't good news because now they refuse to give me a program on the basis that my hair test was clean. I didn't need a program because my hair test was clean.
Oh, they wouldn't let you take
So I
any
went down.
parenting classes or anything?
No, they weren't. They weren't going to let me know. So I found out about dependency drug court, where you go through all the classes of relapse prevention and all the classes and the parenting classes and everything, and then you see the same judge that determines whether or not you get your kids back every Friday. You see him every Friday, so he sees your progress.
Right.
So I wanted in that program. I wanted in that program so I could, the judge would see what I was doing.
But you're not eligible for that program, right?
In front of the judge.
You're not eligible for that program?
No, they kept telling me I wasn't because my hair test was clean.
Right. So.
But I wasn't going to take no for an answer, so I sat in the drug court office from the time they opened to the time they closed for 7 months before they let me sign a contract.
Well, did you
I barely had my 6-month review 18 months later.
Did you take your own private drug test?
No.
With your own doctor? Did you know about that you could do that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
See, if you went to your own doctor and said, I need to have a drug test taken because I'm involved in a CPS case, they would have taken a drug test for you and present you with results. Now, if they tested negative and the CPS drug test take negative, then count that as a blessing. They should have returned the kids to you. I know you're being charged with neglect because you weren't looking after your drug. Now, did anybody ever see you do?
I had the kids.
I know, but did anybody ever see you do drugs in front of the kids?
No. My kids to this day have never seen me do drugs.
Well, there's nothing wrong if you do it in privacy. I mean, you should do it in the first place if you're pregnant, and you shouldn't be doing it if you have young children. That's something as parents you need to sacrifice drugs, alcohol, and smoking if you're going to raise children.
Correct. I agree. I'm an addict.
Yeah, and so there's nothing wrong with trying to get help or go through all the things in there. And unfortunate, you've had some stress. You had your fiance die. I mean, there was a black guy that was a young.
Half of it. My husband just died a month ago.
Right. There was a black guy that
my was on the back.
There was a black guy that was shot 5 times in the chest when he's talking to his fiance on FaceTime. He was in Gainesville Sheriff Department. He came to the wrong apartment for domestic violence. The guy opened the door and the sheriff shot 5 times, point blank. And he died while he's talking to his fiance on FaceTime. So I know what your feeling is there because, your fiance died also, but I don't know how he died. How did he die?
Diverticulitis.
What kind of disease?
Intestines ruptured and he became septic.
I'm sorry. It's what?
Diverticulitis. His intestines ruptured.
Oh boy. How would that happen? Is there something that would tell you that?
It was from stuff that he was eating or something. He had a lot of pain. His intestines were infected and inflamed.
Okay.
They admitted him for 5 days and then sent him home. He never should have been sent home.
Wow.
Because right after they sent him home, his intestines ruptured. And by that time,
so where is your case now? I've heard from the beginning.
So my case now, okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. So they refused to give me any kind of program or anything. Well, I went and sat in the drug court office from the time they opened to the time they closed for 7 months, and then they finally let me sign a drug court contract. About a year later, my kids got returned home to me. And now I'm married to somebody else. And now, right before my kids came home, my husband started fighting for visitation with the kids because they were coming home to me and him. And so he wanted to get to know them more before they came home.
Wait. So, this new man, after your fiance died, your kids returned, you have a new man, you married him.
Husband, yeah.
Now, did he have any children? Did he have any children? Did he have any children himself?
Yes, he had 3 daughters.
So were those 3 daughters with you and your 2 kids?
No, they're grown.
Your 2 kids are grown.
No, his kids were grown.
Oh, and he divorced his wife?
Yeah, they were never married.
Oh, so
his kids had been grown. He hadn't been in a relationship for years, and me and him were good friends for years.
all right, so
And
so now you're married to this guy.
Exactly.
Why would he be upset about visitation?
No, he wasn't upset. He was fighting to get visitation with them.
They
he
wouldn't.
wanted visitations with them.
How come they wouldn't give him visitation? How come they wouldn't give him
because
visitation?
He was their father.
He is their stepfather. He is their stepfather.
Exactly.
And so here's the problem is, everybody listen to me because I've heard this many times over. Family is immediate sisters and brothers and moms and dads. It's also the grandparents, aunts and uncles. It's also kinship of people. That's what a family is. So just because, that guy is not the biological father doesn't mean he has rights to get to know his stepchildren better. Now, you only will know this if you hire an attorney. You see, the problem that all of us are facing, either we're trying to do it pro se, where we try to defend it ourselves, or we get a court-appointed attorney or public defender that knows nothing about juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. All they know about is criminal law. So they're not going to be very helpful or useful. Plus, all the public defenders and all the court-appointed attorneys are overloaded with cases. They're kept so busy, so they don't have time for your case. CPS uses those attorneys badly. They work for CPS. They don't work for you. So
very true.
So your problem is you can't afford an attorney, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Because over this past 7.5 years, there's been so many things that they've done that's illegal. And I tell people about it, and they're like, "Well, they can't do that. That's illegal."
Well, you have to fight one battle at a time. This is the problem. If you have a criminal charge, you have to settle your criminal charges before your dependency charges. So if you have a criminal, well, I didn't say you did. I'm just saying that you have to understand. I'm trying to help you, but I'm also trying to help everybody else in this room, and anybody else that listens to this later. So if I emphasize things, it's for the other, Crystal, it's for the other people. Besides you, I have Cruel, I have Freeman, I have Sol Goodman, I have Margaret, I have Barkley, and Barkley's been on the phone, Margaret's been on the phone. I know about Margaret, I know about Sol Goodman, and I know about Barkley. All of them have been calling in sometimes twice a day. Not calling in, but coming to my show. So I say hi to them. And Felicia and Margaret's been coming on forever. They come on twice a day all the time. And so Freeman hasn't been on in a while. She's up in Oregon. And then there's Brenda K. Brackett, who's from West Virginia. I know Brenda. She's been on before. So it's hard. There's about 20 to 30 people that are on my show regularly, which is great. But what I try to do is I try to talk to you about your case, but also help other people listening, people that are not in the room that listen to it later, learn how to do things. Because if I can help you or one of you parents out here, then you're going to be able to see your children. I've had so many success stories of people coming on here, then coming back months later, a year later, and said, I got my kids back thanks to you. I didn't give up thanks to you. And that's what I try to instill. I try to instill compassion and loving you guys, and like a cheerleader. I cheer you on. I don't want you. Also, I try to explain to you what really you need to know, because I too had a CPS case. If I knew my 5 rules before, when he took my children, I would never have my children taken. I never would have been involved in CPS. They're really simple rules. And have you heard my rules before?
Yes.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. And one of the most important ones is to have an attorney. And so many of you are struggling having that. But did you know by you talking to me tonight that you'll qualify for a free 15-minute private Zoom meeting with my attorney, Vincent W. Davis? Did you know about that?
Yeah, Margaret told me about it.
Right.
I'm at Margaret's house right now.
Right. Are you interested in having a chance to talk to Mr. Vincent W. Davis?
Yes, please.
Yes. So in order to do so, it's not that hard. All you're going to do is the number you call me in, you're going to text on that number your full name, your email, and your phone number. Then what I do is I send the info to my show producer. Her name is Grace, and I will send it to her via text, and then she will contact you and Mr. Davis, look at the schedules, and try to put you together in hopefully a week, hopefully a week you guys will have your chance to talk. But there you make a list of questions, you prioritize the questions, and you can talk to them for free for 15 minutes. Legal things that really will help you. So that's the benefit of calling in or being a guest on my live stream.
Yeah.
Now, Margaret just said something. Don't leave her out of the loop here. They wanted the kids. Who's they wanted the kids? What kids they want?
CPS wanted our kids.
Now, why would they want your kids?
Because they're two beautiful little girls.
Well, okay, but it's also maybe the CPS is corrupt and they want the money because they get $20,000 per child per month. So if there's two kids, they're going to get $60 every month from the state up in Sacramento. From Fresno County is going to mail them. Not mail the CPS there in Fresno County. They're going to mail them $40,000. Not necessarily mail them. They'll probably electronically transfer it. See, the way the money goes, and the money's so simple these days. Right now, we have nobody watching CPS at the federal level, at the state level, at the county level. So money is let loose out of the federal government in billions of dollars to the state. The state, in turn, sends millions of dollars to the county. It's a $1 trillion business. CPS is corrupt. There's no accountability of the funds. In fact, right now, I know in Richmond, Kentucky, there is a CPS social worker being investigated because he embezzled $400,000 of the $1 million that was sent to the Richmond CPS. They think the other $600,000 may be another person. People are embezzling money in big numbers, not small. $400,000 is a lot of money to steal.
Yeah.
And I know that in Richmond, $400,000 will buy you a nice house. Now, in other parts of the country, no, it's California. You can't get a house under $1 million right now. Maybe somewhere, I don't know, Mojave Desert or something. I don't know. It's ridiculous with the way homes are. And so it's all about money. It's all about money. That's why CPS is corrupt, because they get used to giving bonuses and incentives. In 1994, which was really bad, President Clinton signed into law called the Incentive Act. What that meant is that if a CPS entity, the Child Protection System entity, has a child adopted into foster care, they're going to get a $10,000 to $20,000 bonus for doing so. They don't believe in family reunification. And there are corrupt CPS units for doing that. And when President Clinton makes that known and signs the law, there's no desire to do family reunification. Also, the CPS's entities are excited. Oh, wow, we just got $20,000 for having our kids we take custody adopted in foster care. And not all foster care is good. Some of it is bad. Same thing. Not all CPS is good. Some of it's bad. And we're accounting that. I know Fresno County, Kern County. I know Riverside, San Bernardino, LA, San Diego, and Orange County. I hear horror stories all the time in all those counties.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that this new entity, I've been talking about Doge the last couple of days, an entity that was created by President Trump in January of this year as a new elected president. It's a government entity that goes out and sees something about called government waste. I mean, they're paying people that are 200 years old and dead, they're paying money to them. Or they allow a person on TikTok to make $10,000 a month and she gets food stamps. I mean, that's $100,000 a year, $120,000 a year, and she's getting food stamps. The way social service works, your food stamps is only twice a year requalification. So they're trying to find out corruption within CPS and social services. And hopefully they will. I think it's a good thing. I don't know. I've been hearing pros and cons and people get caught up in the shuffle. But I found a number to the White House. I have 2 numbers for the White House that you can call and have CPS investigated. I don't know if you heard that on one of my shows, but I released the numbers. Let me see if I still have them here. Let me see here. Yes. Would you like those numbers?
Yes.
You can call the White House. It's 202-456-1111 or 202-456-1414. And by the way, 202 is Washington, D.C. I know because I've called the Capitol before, and I spoke to the clerk at the Congress because I want to get in touch with a congressman. I was helping out a lady in Richmond, Kentucky. We were trying to get help because what's happened is that when the mayor and the governor and the state people and even the Capitol people, the federal government aren't helping, then you have no choice. You have to go to your congressman. They're the ones that make the rules. They're the ones that make the changes. So
could you repeat them one more time?
Yeah, it's
I got them right.
Yeah, 202-456-1111 or 202-456-1414. Now there's a website, doge.gov, Doge. And you can find a lot of information on that website. Because what I'm finding out, a lot of the parents are having issues trying to work their case, and it seems really sad. So if Donald Trump is putting that out for people to contact, then why not? I mean,
Right. I lost you.
No, I was just reading the information coming up there.
Okay.
I was, boy, I type in something and sometimes you have to put in the full address, HTTP, to verify. The DOG is the official website of the United States government. It's the Department of Government Efficiency. It takes you to a web page that has all kinds of information. You can spend hours on here. It's supposed to help save taxpayers dollars and get people that are not working out of there. So it's a really good. They have a leaderboard. It's really interesting. If you listen to me right now, you can certainly look up. And they're trying to get it because there's too much government waste going on, and our government every 6 months has to um, um, find money to take care of their debts, like Social Security and the troops pay and other government programs. You see, they should never be out of Social Security, but the mistake with Social Security is when people contribute, let's say $10 an hour for their work to Social Security, that money is sent to the federal government, and they make interest off that money. They can't use your money, but sometimes they do use your money. That shouldn't. That money should always be available. And my feeling is you should be making interest on that money. If they're taking money to help the government run, then you should get the interest, not the federal government. I don't know if a lot of people know that. You know, this is the sad thing. There's a lot that goes on that people need to understand and get to know, and everything on that. Now, Margaret's been talked a little bit, and I'm not trying to cut you short here, but she said to Cruel, so sorry about the appeal. Where was the case heard? See, she lost her appeal. She had appealed, Cruel did. Margaret says, my appeal is coming up in Fresno. All I can do is pray everything goes well, but she has Vincent Davis, so I know it's going to go well. I hired an investigator to investigate the drug test results from the hospital. Good, Margaret. But if you hire an investigator, you're going to have the investigator show up in court. So make sure you subpoena him, because paper documents are not as good as the person that came up with the results. For instance, if a doctor says you have a certain disease, you got to have the doctor present in court so you can be examined. So anyway, now, before I forget here, Crystal, I'm getting close to the end of my show time. Crystal?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mean to be cutting it short here. And all you listeners, I got to close down because my podcast only goes to 8 o'clock. And right now it's already after 8 o'clock. So I went too far here. But I want to thank Freeman from Oregon for coming back here and sharing there. Cruel, thank you for being here. Margaret, thank you also. I want to make sure I didn't leave anybody out here. There's Crystal, of course, who's been on the phone. Saul Goodman, thank you. Barkley, 541624, thank you. And Saul Goodman has thanked him. Thank you all for being part of my live stream. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Pacific time. You're all welcome. And if you want to be guaranteed to talk, all you have to do is be a guest on my live stream. I can take up 9 of you at one time. So Margaret and Krista, if you want to be on together, you can be on together and talk about your case and help others in this room. So okay. I want to thank you all for listening, and God bless you all, and keep fighting for your children. Do not give up. So with that being said, this is Bob Pace signing off.